Screamiverse, are you ready to get a little haunted? Our next guests are a paranormal investigation team diving deep into the unexplained. And yes, they've investigated the Berglund Center itself. Please welcome the team behind Hometown Haunts, Lyle Lots, Tonna Lots, and Brandon Johnson.
Over here. Over here. Way to kick it off.
Good job, Josh.
Welcome. I'm so glad you did something embarrassing before me. Well, we are Tara.
Savanah, and we do Star City Punkcast.
Come say what's up if you want a sticker or something. So can you guys introduce yourselves and your role within Hometown Haunts?
Okay, my name's Lyle Lots. Ooh, a little hot. There we go. That one. My name's Lyle Lots. Basically, my wife, Tonna, Brandon, and myself, we're a part of Twisted Productions. And we filmed a couple other series. If you were here last year, remember we were up here talking. Got the cues. But Hometown Haunts basically came together after our flagship, which was the Twisted Realm. We decided we wanted to get into more than just paranormal. Basically, it was going to be cryptid, UFO, paranormal, cold cases, and urban legends. So with us being paranormal people, it seems to be that paranormal was really the avenue that this series is taken as well, but we have done a Bigfoot and we have done a UFO one. So, talk.
Hello, I'm Tonna Lots, as he said, his better half. But I was one of the founders for Hometown Haunts.
Go ahead, I got one. Thank you. I'm Brandon.
Yeah. Woo.
One of the camera crew. I guess one of the OGs of Hometown Haunts. Happy to be here.
And
Thank you very much.
and I'm Josh Bender. I recently joined the Hometown Haunts crew, and also their event company as well. I fly the drone. I do time lapses, and I'm also a camera guy.
And pretty much we're all lead investigators. So we all have our own roles. It's pretty much we all carry cameras. We all do just about everything together. So, except for other stuff, you know.
What other stuff?
Other stuff.
I think we can. It'll be okay. Yeah, I think as long as there's one, it's okay. So before you guys got together and made this team, did you feel like, were you a believer, a skeptic, or somewhere in between? Like, did you make the group to kind of like find proof?
The group, actually, we started the Twisted Paranormal Society, which was basically our flagship paranormal team back in 2011. Tonna and I really, we just like watching the shows is what we were doing. And it just caught our attention, and we wanted to keep going with it, so we pursued starting the Twisted Paranormal Society, which we did. And basically, we investigated with friends, family. The team was basically 6 at first, grew to like 15 or 16 people, which is way too many if you're thinking about starting a paranormal team. Then we got it down to our core 4. That's the Twisted Paranormal Society. That's our base paranormal team.
The exclusive.
Exclusive paranormal team, yes. So one of our members isn't here with us, but she's not a part of the Hometown Haunts thing. So, but that's kind of how it all got started for us.
Awesome.
And but you did mention, are we skeptics or believers? Do you want to know about that? Okay. How many of you out there are skeptics or believers? Raise your hands. Skeptics first. Skeptics? How about believers?
Skeptical believers.
Good. I'm pretty much on the skeptical believer side. I mean, I've had stuff happen.
You too. Well, you kind of already did.
No.
I am a believer, and that comes from my childhood days. I have been around it for a very long time. My mother studied parapsychology, so I've always been around it, so I am a believer.
I've always been a believer. I had my first encounter when I was 10 years old at an old hotel called the Chamberlain on the grounds of Fort Monroe. And I've seen a little kid getting off the elevator. And, you know, so many aspects of my life have changed and so many things I've forgotten. You know, we can't forget what happened 3 days ago. But this kid's details are burned in my brain where I can describe him to a T and my story's never changed. So there's got to be some aspects there. But yeah, I've been a believer, but then being the skeptical believer means you believe that there is the paranormal does exist, but not everything is the paranormal.
I'm more of a skeptic. I'm more on the skeptical side of things. I do more filming than I do investigating now. But through the years, I have experienced some things that you couldn't explain, but I'm still not convinced yet.
So, what sets your team apart from other paranormal investigation groups?
You know, I think the way I look at that, I think we're all kind of in this for the same reason. We're trying to find out, is there truth? Is there another side to this? Is there another realm? So, you know, whether you've been doing it for a long time or you're brand new at it, people call them amateurs. We're not professionals. I don't think there's a professional in this career, or not career, but this field, because that's one word we don't like using, because we're still learning. Nobody knows everything. So I think really when it comes to that, it doesn't matter whether you're new or not. We love to listen. We love to help. We love to be there for people that are just starting out. Give them tips, things that we do, especially when it comes to spending money on a lot of stuff. So, which we'll talk about that later, I'm sure. What about you guys?
No, I mean, that's that pretty much nails it. that's pretty good.
So I'm part of a few different groups. I help film. I help investigate and things like that. I've been a part of different groups. Oh, and so it's not so much what stands out. It's not like a competition. It's more like a this group does something different than the other two groups. Everybody's different and do different things. So if you follow certain groups, you are following them because you like the way they do things, or you like the way their filming is, and so things that stand out that you enjoy, you may not like how other groups do it. So I think that's how you can differentiate from the different styles, things like that.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool you like help each other too, like community kind of thing instead of being against each other. So we want to hear about like an experience that you've had that stayed with you, or that was like really emotionally intense, or, you know, give us the good tea.
Oh boy, I have a lot actually, but I would say I've got two, but the one that stands out was, I don't know if you're familiar with St. Albans Sanatorium, just right up the road. There is a spirit upstairs in the bathroom that, or the suicide bathroom area. Her name is Rebecca. And it's a long story as to what happened to her, but we were filming that day. We were just doing B-roll footage. So I didn't think about putting my shield up and all that. So I got really emotional because of her. And long story short, because I could go on and on, but she pretty much jumped me, but she did not do it to hurt me. She is reaching out. She wants everybody to know what happened to her, and this was the only way she knew to do it. But it affected me so bad that Saturday, I didn't investigate. I couldn't. I was an emotional wreck. Sunday before we left, because one thing our team does, we watch each other and we know when something's wrong. And one of the girls on our team asked me, she said, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "I don't want to live." And Rebecca had committed suicide. So she took me upstairs and we did a whole ceremony where I said a prayer for Rebecca. I let her know that nobody has forgotten her, but that she had to let go of me. I couldn't take her home with me. So that was a tough weekend. And it actually landed us on the first season of Destination Fear. They were looking for somebody that had had an experience at St. Albans. And Lyle and I think it was episode 4 or 5 on the first season. So, yeah, that is one that I will never forget.
And you can see that experience. It was filmed for Destination Fear for that episode, but we also shot a Hometown Haunts episode there called The Connection. And it kind of relates back to exactly the same thing. But if you get a chance, we're here because of the Hometown Haunts series. You can follow it on YouTube, Hometown Haunts series. Go there and watch it. You'll get to see all of our episodes up until the one we're going to be talking about.
So, what equipment do you use during investigations, and what does it do?
Well, I don't necessarily use equipment because I'm, other than a camera, because I'm a camera guy. But I have my own business and I build lighting for cameras and night vision cameras, all kinds of different lighting. So I use that. But typically, the equipment that I use, I mean, if I was going to use equipment, I would use like digital recorders, things like that. And I do make a piece of equipment that detects motion. So I would probably use that as well.
I think yourself is probably the best paranormal equipment you have, because you can always tell when something's not right. You know, the equipment can tell you about so much. It can light up, it can make noise, and that's cool and everything, but you yourself are the ultimate tool. When you walk in somewhere and say, hey, I should not be here, something's not right, something happened here, your intuition is probably the best thing you can ever have on an investigation.
I think when you're able to watch what we do, we use a few pieces of equipment. We'll use like what we call our crew cube, which is basically a knockoff of the REM pods. People familiar with REM pods. We'll use Spirit Talker, which is an ITC device, and then you'll see us just basically using ourselves. We will throw different things in there, like different lighting things. The TikTok lights, basically the lights that if you're a TikTok person, you see the advertisements, basically that little light that you'd stick up under your cabinets, right? Detects motion. We'll set them down hallways. Cheap version of a motion light. You know, so you go spend $100 for a motion light, or you can spend $12 and get 4. You know, so we look for stuff like that. Just be creative. That's all. That's what we try to do. But we do use our bodies more than that.
Cool. We actually had an experience at St. Albans too, so we'll talk about that in the bathroom. So we'll talk about that after. But so we want to kind of hear about the Berglund Center since we're here. So what made you start looking into this location? Was it for Screamiverse or was it before that?
I want to see. Norrid City, so they're part of our Haunted Nights Paranormal Events crew, which I've got other members out there too. they work here at the Berglund Center. So with the stuff that was happening, I don't really know how we got, if they remembered us from Screamiverse last year, but they reached out to us probably, I want to say it was April, maybe May, June timeframe last year or something. We came down around the 4th of July weekend last year and did a walk of the building. And they basically wanted us to confirm. They wanted to get some confirmation. Are things really happening here? So we were excited to take on a project like this because it's huge. And I think once everybody gets a chance to see the episodes, which is going to be a 2-part episode. Night 1, we're actually filmed with the crew of the Berglund Center. And then we set our Hometown Haunts crew off on night 2. So that's what the 2 parts are, because there's a lot of things that happen. And I think people are going to really enjoy seeing what goes on around here, because there's history. The land that this building is built on. It's a lot of history here. So, but you'll learn a lot about that in episode 1. So.
And where can you see that?
Well, it has not come out just yet.
Okay.
What we're doing is we've got part 1 complete all the way. Berglund people and Mike people that were a part of it, they've all viewed it. They all gave it the thumbs up, which is what I like to do. I like to make sure everybody approves what we're doing first. And then right now, part 2 is about 70% complete. So what a lot of people don't realize, we are a production crew. We do that, but we also have full-time jobs. So my editing time, I usually do most of the editing. My editing time is about an hour to an hour and a half before I head into work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that tells you how early I get up to do that. But then, I'll do some of my days off as well. So, but it will be on YouTube. Our Hometown Haunt series. Just watch our Hometown Haunt series page. Go there and follow it on Facebook. You'll get all the updates. You'll see it under our names too. Well, we have our own individual Facebook pages. But it won't be long. Probably within the next month, we'll probably have everything. Well, at least we'll have the first episode, and I'll finish up the second one before a month goes in.
Awesome. We'll be looking out for that.
So can you guys give us a brief history of the building and why it might have paranormal activity?
All right, so the land before the center, all right, was a small town called Gainesboro. Anybody familiar with that at all? Gainesboro, okay? Also known as Tank Town. African-American community that was here that ended up, I don't know the full story as to what happened or if they relocated all the homes and stuff like that as well. But in 1971 is when this building was complete. Okay, so basically they uprooted a whole community to put the center in. So on that community, you had cemeteries, you had homes, you had a lot of energy that was here on this ground. All right. So no matter where you go in this building, it's a possibility you got spirits, okay, that are left from that time period. Now, there are things, as you saw in the piece up there, in the building of the property. There were people that were killed that were during the building of the property. The different spirits that we communicated with that night, we had a little bit of everything. I think we had community people and we had workers here. But I just wait till it comes. It's very interesting, very informational about it. That's the one thing about Hometown Haunt series. We're not like you're going to watch the shows like you see on Travel Channel, stuff like that, that's all hype. Boom, 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 and stuff like that. Everything happens, screams, stuff like that. We kind of give you a piece, a story. It's not all about the investigation for us. It's the story. We want to tell the story of the property. There's many times during that investigation process that we relate back to that, the story of the place. Is that who we're communicating with? So, yeah. How about you?
I'm sure we'll get back to this, but there was so much that occurred here during the filming. And to be honest, I've been coming here since I was a kid. A lot of us have. And to get what we got was really surprising because you knew the place was haunted, but you didn't know to the extent of how it was haunted. You just knew that, hey, there's a few stories here, but then really what we captured. And we captured some great stuff that wasn't even on camera. A lot of stuff happened when the camera stopped rolling that we'll get to, I'm sure, at some point. That was kind of mind-blowing. It's like, okay, well, I wish that was on camera, but the hauntings here were really surprising.
It's hard because I want to ask you questions, but I know, like, I don't want to ruin your, your premiere. So, like, yeah, give us like one example, like what's a specific hot spot or area with high activity, or what's like some of the most compelling evidence that you found?
I'll tell you what, I'll give you one that happened after it was over.
Okay.
That won't be on the episode. We just finished the last investigation of the night. Time to close up. It was me, Cindy, and Nora on the stage. They're cutting off all the lights. And we're looking out at the seats in the theater, and all of a sudden you heard somebody clapping from somewhere out there in the seats. And it was distinct. It was, and we all kind of stopped, looked at each other, didn't know what that was, and it was kind of like the final cap on the entire weekend. It's like somebody's giving you a standing ovation somewhere that you can't see. And of course, your two things hit your mind right away. It's like, that was awesome,